We'll move on to the NFC. We have, the Eagles played the Giants, or really the Eagles played and the Giants showed up. And then the Cowboys played the 49ers. Taylor, whatever one of those two games, which one do you want to talk about first? The Cowboys and the Niners, or you want to talk about the Eagles and the Giants?
So I don't want to talk about the Eagles and the Giants. That was just a complete domination. Eagles played the way we thought they were going to play.
They are who we thought they were. Great. The Giants let them off the hook.
They are who we thought they were. The Giants, terrible
performance.
But be glad, Giants fans. That was a really good season. You bounced back. You have a promising future now. So that's all I really want to say on that game.
Yeah, I agree.
Eagles are really good. 49ers and Cowboys. Cowboys did it again. Cowboys do what the Cowboys do best. They have the opportunity. They have the position to go on and win another game and advance into the Super Bowl. And they went out and they messed it up yet again. It's just Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott got bulldozed.
That's on Kellen Moore. The fact that there are people out there going, "Hey, Kellen Moore be our head coach," and then they saw that play of all things. First of all, great snap. Okay, you got props where props due. Ezekiel Elliott, hey, if you put on a couple extra pounds, you might be able to play center.
Yeah, long snapper.
But keep your hands in there, man. You're too wide on your block, so you got pushed back, and that was embarrassing. That last play was crazy.
So here's the ceiling for Dak Prescott. Here's Dak Prescott. It's time to cut the loss. Dak Prescott's not the quarterback that team needs. I think his decision making is piss poor. He's not a game on the line quarterback I want out there to win the game. He just fumbles every single time when it matters. They had a great game against a bad Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I will give him that. But when it comes time to play a good team,
when the lights are on, he turns into Helen Keller, man. He can't hear nor see the field at all.
Yep. So that's all I got to say is
listen, the Cowboys are – listen, that's all I heard. The Cowboys had a harder schedule, even though the Eagles had the 19th and the Cowboys had the 18th hardest schedule in the league. Dak Prescott's better than Jalen Hurts. Dak Prescott's top 5. I saw on TikTok Dak Prescott's top 3, and he's pushing top 2 for Joey Burrow. And I want to know what kind of drugs that dude was on, but, each their own on their podcast.
If you miss 5 games in a season and throw 14 interceptions in the regular season,
trash.
You're not top 5.
Trash.
You're not top 5.
No, and
not top 10.
He hit his ceiling, and we've been saying it all along. Dak Prescott is a middle-of-the-round quarterback. He is maybe 13, 14 range, but there are at least 12 quarterbacks better than Dak Prescott. It has been 7 long years for the Cowboys, and Jalen Hurts was able to be born, go through elementary school, go through high school, get recruited, go to Alabama. Learn to play football. Go to Alabama, transfer to Oklahoma, go through the draft and all that, get selected in the second round by the Eagles, wait a year, and then reach the NFC championship game since the last time the Cowboys went to the championship game.
Yeah. And I'll also say this. So whenever Dallas's kicker missed all those field goals and PTAs or PATs, Dak Prescott threw his helmet on the ground, was just cussing and freaking out. I would like to see this upcoming season, every single time that Dak Prescott throws an interception, I want that entire team to start throwing helmets, start freaking out and cussing.
I want the kicker to do it. If he stays with Dallas, I want Brett Meyer to go, "How could you throw an interception? I made my kick."
If you are the leader of the team and you continuously mess up 14 times when you've only played X amount of games and missed 5, and you threw 14, plus you just threw 2 in the past game, you have zero right to get upset at a kicker who was almost perfect for the entire season up until
he sucked in the postseason, though.
He sucked in the postseason. No,
he cannot
true,
kick
but
in the
he was
postseason.
Perfect. He was perfect in the regular season, and then in the postseason he messed up. But Dak Prescott sucked in the regular season, and he sucked in the postseason. So
listen, I mean, the Cowboys, we heard this, right? Number 1 offense. Dak came back, and the offense was the number 1 offense in the NFL, and no one's going to stop us. And the only person, everyone ever said, the only person that's going to stop Dallas, Dak Prescott.
Yep.
The only person. And guess what? He threw 2 interceptions. Both were on him. He made misreads. Don't blame the receivers this time. All season we heard, oh, the receiver dropped it, and so it went to the corner's hands or this or that. Those 2 interceptions of Fred Warner, and I can't remember the other guy who picked it off, but those 2 interceptions Dak threw were completely on him. Misreads, him staring down receivers, him trying to play hero ball. And, again, he hit his ceiling. Now, I hope, as an Eagles fan personally, that they keep Dak Prescott. Because I know that the Eagles got next season on lock. All right?
Yeah.
And I think the Giants take number 2. I think might be time. They paid him a lot of money. If he doesn't restructure his contract, I could see the Cowboys moving on from Dak. And if not, then they at least need to. That means that they might be in a rebuilding mode if they can't land one of the big-name free agents for quarterbacks.
The only thing is Jerry Jones is one of the most
loyal
owners out there, and Dak's probably going to finish the season or finish his career as a Dallas Cowboy.
Just like we saw Tony Romo, and again, as an Eagles fan, thank you, Jerry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and then Ryan in the comments, he says Dak got blasted by the team on Twitter. Yeah, every other team. So if you guys don't know, if you guys don't have Twitter, every team always, even if they lose, they at least post an image or the final score or whatever. The Dallas Cowboys Twitter page said after throwing 2 interceptions, Dak Prescott with a poor performance, the Cowboys lose to the 49ers. They threw him under the bus. So they didn't just say the final score. They said Dak Prescott sucked. That's why we lost. Oh, and this was the final score. So
good on him.
Yeah. So listen.
I hope that social media team gets a raise.
Well, at least some of the contract. And I feel bad for Dak because not only is he missing out on his chance for a ring, but his girlfriend just broke up with him too. So after 2 years. So he's missing out on 2 rings, right? Hey, at least she's she's a ring chaser too. She's a bag chaser.
Yeah.
So
all right. So we've got Philadelphia and the 49ers.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Da-da-da. I am going to go ahead and take the
showing off his card collection there.
Philadelphia Eagles, baby.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. All right.
I got Philadelphia. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a fun one, and it's going to be a nasty one. But Philadelphia's got the juice, and they've got the players, and they have got the motivation to do it. Brock Purdy, phenomenal season, phenomenal postseason. But my man, Mr. Relevant, will be back to Mr. Irrelevant when they face the Philadelphia Eagles.
Stamp it. Listen, speaking of stamp, Brock Purdy, when he played the Cowboys, was an 18.3 completion percentage when he had pressure in his face. And the Eagles come in with 4 defensive linemen who have more than 10 sacks on the season. Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, and Javon Hargrave. They are bringing that pressure. And if you think that if you only put up 19 points against the Cowboys, that's not going to fly. Listen, I am a firm believer in Brock Purdy now. The 49ers are. They already said, we'll talk about that in a second. They've already said he's going to be the starter next season regardless if Trey Lance is healthy. But this is where it comes to an end for the 49ers. Yes, they have a lot of talent. Yes, they have CMC. Yes, they have Debo. Yes, they have Brandon Ayuk. And I don't want to sleep on them. George Kittle and company. Number 1 defense. I get all that.
They're very good. They're a very good team. Solid team. If it was anybody else, they would be in the Super Bowl.
But this is where it comes crashing down because the Eagles are going to be in Brock Purdy's face the entire game. They have Darius Slade, James Bradbury able to potentially, it's a hard thing to do, but it's not really hard on Brandon Ayuk to clamp him. But for Deebo Samuel and they stop George Kittle, it's a wrap. The running game is all right. It's decent. CMC's a good running back. They have Elijah Mitchell, who's a good running back as well, could be starting somewhere. But the Eagles are such a fast and more complete and more tenacious team. They're very fluid, like you said. And I think Jalen, it's going to come down to quarterback play. And while I like Brock Purdy and he's not making a lot of mistakes, Jalen Hurts is the superior quarterback. And I think he's going to put them over the top. And I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Super Bowl to play the Bengals.
I agree. But I'm going to – so some games I like to watch in the postseason. Some others I'm like, it's going to be boring. I really don't want to watch it, like bleh. But – the Eagles versus the 49ers is going to be a Big 12 quarterback showdown, and I am excited to watch it all unfold
as a
once
Sooners
again.
fan. Yeah. They played each other, and if you guys don't know, Brock Purdy at Iowa State played Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma. They did play, and
he lost.
And they lost. Jalen put up 4 touchdowns. Brock Purdy put up 5. So this is not their first time meeting each other. They're very well acquainted. And I think the same outcome, Jalen wins. Now,
yep. So we have the Bengals in this is what we're predicting, the Bengals and the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Now, I already know what you're going to say. You're going to say the Eagles are going to win. It's all set in stone for you, right?
No, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like talking like that because I'm bad luck. So like when I'm watching the team and they're winning, they're losing, and I go, oh man, or they're winning, no man, we make a play, and I'm like, we suck, we're gonna lose this game. Then we usually win. But if we're winning, and I'm like, yeah, the other team sucks. By fourth quarter, I'm usually upset and we're losing the game. So I'm coming in depressed and hoping for less.
All right, so are you taking the Bengals to win the Super Bowl?
If it's the Bengals, Eagles,
yes
I don't know.
No. I need an answer.
Because I think the Eagles' defensive line is going to get after Joe Burrow.
So you have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl?
Yes. Complete bias, but yes.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the Eagles will win the Super Bowl this year.
I like hearing that. I like hearing that. Yeah. Number two in the franchise.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And
I got them.
I like that matchup. I think I'd rather play the Bengals, and it's crazy. I'd rather play the Bengals than the Chiefs. Yeah. Just because of offensive line, it's easier to get after Joe Burrow than it is Pat Mahomes. That offensive line is pretty good.
And that offensive line's collapsing.
Yeah, they fall right over.
So yeah, all right. Well, now we've got back to the 49ers. So Brock Purdy has been playing phenomenal. Okay. Brock Purdy has been poised. He has been likable. He has been great under pressure for the most part. We saw a little bit of a fault in his last game, which is to be expected. He is a rookie. This is his first time coming out and being a starter postseason. There's bound to be some mistakes. There's bound to be some areas in his game where he needs to improve. But if we judge Brock Purdy based off of his first start all the way up until now, there is no doubt in my mind that the 49ers elect Brock Purdy to be their starter coming up in this next season, which then lies the question of Trey Lance.
Where's he going?
Now, I would assume Trey Lance would not go anywhere. I would assume that Trey Lance will stay there as a backup quarterback for the 49ers. And the reason being is they've already spent the money. They spent the draft pick to get Trey Lance. They put the time and effort into him to develop him. He's rehabbing under the 49ers right now. I think it would be foolish of them to just drop everything and let him go. So I would imagine, unless there's like a beautiful trade package that somebody comes and offers them, I think Trey Lance will be their backup quarterback.
Yeah,
I think Jimmy G is going to go to the Raiders because he's going to be a free agent, and I think the Raiders would be a perfect fit for him.
Okay, I like that fit. There have been talks about Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets or the Raiders, so there's definitely potential there. I do agree. I think that they keep Trey Lance as a fail-safe because, yes, Purdy has looked good and played good this year, but there's always that sophomore year when teams get a little more time to go watch film on you and see your weaknesses, and sometimes, hey, you're a one-hit wonder. We saw that with was it Jeremy Lin in basketball when he was with the Knicks, had that Lin sanity.
Yep.
And then after that, he got a big-time contract, and then he's nowhere to be found now. I think he's playing in China.
God, that makes me want to go back and watch the Lin Sanity documentary. God, that was so good.
That was a good, and I was rooting for Jeremy Lin for sure. But and that's the thing that scares me is Brock Purdy is solid, and he has shown traits to be able to lead the team next year. But I think they keep Trey Lance as that fail-safe. Maybe Purdy gets found out. Maybe he's not as good as he is playing this year. He struggles. They put Trey Lance back in.
Yep.
But like you said, they invested too much in Trey Lance just to give up right now.
Yeah. Now, the only issue that's going to arise with this is you've got a unproven Trey Lance, and then you have a right now rookie quarterback in Brock Purdy, who, like you said, could be found out next season. Everybody knows what's going to happen. They figured out. They shut him down. He can't get anything going. Then you're like, all right, we got to make a change. We got to put Trey Lance in. Trey Lance in the first game that we saw,
he sucked.
The snippet that we saw,
he sucked.
Was garbage.
Yeah.
So that's the issue that the 49ers will have. Right now, all their chips are riding on Brock Purdy becoming a Tom Brady. That's what they're riding on right now. Hopefully that formulates for them, because if not, they're done.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. But
I want to say they're done because they could, if they suck this upcoming season.
Done,
Caleb Williams with the 49ers, that's a pretty good replacement. That's you know what I'm saying. So they might suck this upcoming season, the following season, getting a Caleb Williams or a Jake May. So they could replace Trey Lance and Brock Purdy if they need to. If Brock Purdy doesn't pan out and Trey Lance doesn't pan out.
Yeah, but that's my prediction. Is Purdy is starting. Trey Lance will ride the bench. He still has a job. Just not the one that he was probably expecting to have, but injuries happen, and then somebody else comes in and takes your job. It happened with Tom Brady, and that's how his career started. Tom Brady could have rode the bench his entire career. We could have never seen him.
All happened to Drew Bledsoe, man.
Yep, but that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah,
I think it's the smartest move for them financially.
I do agree. With that being said, guys, let us know who you think is going to win against the Eagles 49ers. That game is on Sunday, and so is the Chiefs versus the Bengals. Let us know who you think is going to win that game. Taylor, do you want to go ahead and do the outro? I'll play the music. I'll let you do the outro if you'd like.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha. Hey, everybody that is tuned in, thank you very, very much. We absolutely appreciate the support more than you guys know, whether it's 2 people, 3 people, 1 person, however many it is, the support, we feel it, we love it. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like our TikTok. Make sure you go over and follow our Twitter page and keep up to date with everything that we got going on. We do giveaways for sports cards, for any sports cards fanatics out there. We're all football fans if we're tuning in. Why wouldn't you want to grab an autograph of one of your favorite players or something of the likes, So make sure you also follow that Spotify for when you're on the go and you want to hear us ramble on about a team of yours that you think we're speaking ill about, and you want to go in the comments on our next YouTube and call us out on it. But either way, thank you again, and we'll see you next time on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.